And welcome and good evening, everybody, to the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I'm your host, Robert Peppino, broadcasting to you live on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. And, of course, it's a pleasure to be here with you once again on this Friday evening, or Good Friday, shall we say, for anybody who follows the religious practices, so to speak. But anyway, it's a pleasure to be here with you. And, of course, it is the third Friday of the month. And as always, on the third Friday, we have Alma Guthrie, who is our telepathic transcommunicator of Stargate 2012 and beyond, where basically, she goes into a channeled state she brings through her the incredible information to our brothers and sisters. Who are our brothers and sisters? Our angelic brothers and sisters, our ET brothers and sisters, who are here to help us as we go through these tumultuous times right now. And she'll be up in just a second, but a quick word for the station and about the station. Of course, we are 100% listener-sponsored. That means you make it happen. And let me tell you, I appreciate you for everything that you do, keeping this show on the air as well as all the other shows, because without you, we would not be here. And we do need your support. We have those monthly bills to meet. And as you all know, none of us get paid for doing what we do, hosts or producers. We do this because we want to do it, because it's important, because we want to share this information with you. We need for all of you to understand that what the reality that we have been told or that we live in every day is not really what it is. And it's important, because once you wake up to that, you can, pull the veil from your eyes and realize what needs to change. And it is a concerted effort of change, and I think that's what we're all looking for. So anyway, please support Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. Go to the support page. I know Hawk's got some great deals out there. First of all, the 35,000 non-GMO seeds with a storable shelf life of 25 years for $100. What a great deal. I don't think you're going to find that anywhere else. As well as the USB bullet drive with the 900 survival documents as well for $50. And what a great deal. Now, for all you guys who have been listening, you've heard that deal out there for a while. But also, for anyone joining in right now who has not heard this, Hawks put together the best of 2013 shows, commercial-free, of all your favorite hosts. And it's a great deal. I think it's $30 on a CD. Can't beat that. You can listen to the shows that you may have missed, okay, or shows you just want to hear again because they were so important to you. But that's just a smoking deal that Hawk put together, and I want to thank Hawk personally for doing that. And believe me, this is a massive concerted effort put together by him that everyone has participated in order to make this network grow and become what it has become. And look, we have 500,000 listeners, and I want to see that 500,000 listeners to grow to a million and 2 million listeners. And we the only way we can do that is through your support. So please contribute $1, $5. And you know what? My dear friend Lorian Fenton, from the Fenton perspective, she always says, and I think she's absolutely right. If we had every listener on this network send in $1, just $1, it would take care of the bills and then some for many years to come. And this network would grow exponentially. So, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing what you do and being a participant. And, of course, as well, you can always watch the YouTube podcasts. And by doing that, you also help contribute to contribute to the station by putting a few pennies in the pocket of the network by just suffering through the commercial. So there's many ways you can contribute. But once again, I want to thank you for being with me here on this network, for listening to the show and all the rest of the shows. Now let's move forward. For all of you new listeners, I know we have new listeners every single week. Alma Guthrie, okay, she's our telepathic transcommunicator. She communicates with our cosmic brothers and sisters through her rare ability that she received as a child to enlighten people of our planet, of what is to come in the days ahead. Now, what is the days ahead? Every single day, something else is changing. Something new is coming up. Look, there's been a lot of earthquakes lately. There's, a lot of talk about Yellowstone. Earthquakes, there's no question about it, have ramped up exponentially. All the sinkholes, all the strange, extreme weather that we've been having, from hot to cold, and the massive deluges that a lot of countries have experienced. No one's, we as a race, at least this race, or as humanity, okay, in this very short term, have not experienced anything like this. So they communicate through her to tell us what's going to be. And look, they don't give a date, say on, April 30th, that there's going to be a 10-point earthquake. No, that's not what they do, because they do it more subtly. Everything is more or less a surprise, in essence. Just like our lives on a daily basis. Everything is more or less a surprise. Some are good surprises, some are bad surprises. But the bottom line is, I think they want us to experience things as they come and really be prepared, more or less, for the things that come, and not fearmonger over what will happen, what has happened, now and in the future. So anyway, without further ado, I want to welcome Alma. Alma, welcome to the program. As always, my dear, it's an absolute pleasure for you to be here with me once again.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Good. Like I was telling you, I've been under a little bit of low energy because I have not been quite myself or feeling quite myself for the past couple of weeks. And I've been to several doctors and had several different types of tests, and no one could find anything wrong with me. And this week, for no apparent reason, I was just in the dining table after breakfast. I had a very, very sharp pain in my left side of my chest area, the heart area. A very, very deep, excruciating pain that radiated towards my back and my neck. And having read some of the symptoms for heart problems, well, they were there. So it was very painful, so my husband took me to the ER. And when we went to the ER, they read every kind of check there was on me, and they had to give me very strong meds or morphine for the pain. And I couldn't breathe very deeply, because the more I breathed in, the greater the pain was, and I couldn't hardly swallow, and my neck was stiff. Excuse me. So after the test, I had to wait in that room, the emergency room. My husband was inside, and he told me that I had gone into a full-time state, where they gave him information about what was happening in our solar system and what was occurring with the energies, with these planets that were aligning, and how my physical body was feeling the energy, everything that was going on in the universe. I was feeling it to my body. And it was incredible information that they gave him, which I can't really say all of it, because everybody has a certain faith and such a religious background. Right. And I do too. So what they gave him was very important, and it relates also to my faith. And and the feelings that I was having and the pains that I was having. So they said that there was not going to be any serious illness or condition that they would find after the testing, that my symptoms were that because of what was going on in our solar system with the planets. And she can go into detail later on, but afterwards I got the results back, and they didn't find anything wrong. And I had to get another dose of that morphine, and they told me to see other specialists, but they couldn't find what was happening. So I periodically feel those pains, so I had to take these strong pain pills. And my physical body is going through, and my mental state is going through some very transformative cycles that I can express. I don't know exactly how to pinpoint it. But
well, Alma, I expressed to you off air that basically, I mean, as far as what you're feeling, not going through of course the pains that you went through, but just going through this emotional stress I have felt as well. And at least you gave me some clarification in that sense that now I understand at least what has been going on with me. And I know it's not, because I thought, is it just me? Am I just going through this? But then when I talked to you earlier, you said, no, this has been going on with me for a few weeks. Yes. And I said the same thing, and then you told me that your husband, William, has been going through the same exact thing. So there is something very significant taking place right now.
Yes, and I would like to give some information in reference to that because of the message that was given to William. I received some information from various sources that sent me information about this month, about the 4 blood moons that were going to be coming up in this year, 2014 and 2015, ending in 2015, and it's information that relates to the forming of these planets that has great significance for the human race, depending on their religious faith and what their belief system is. So I want to briefly, for those that are within that faith, I'd like to briefly go through, because this is astrological information that is very significant, that's going on. It's scientifically proven, and the meaning and the significance is very important for humanity, and not just for one faith, it's for the world as an acknowledgement, so they can understand that many people will be going through some symptoms, and the planet Earth is going to go through a lot of symptoms which affects the tectonic plates because of tectonic tension. Now, referring now to the blood moon, which just passed on April the 14th and 15th, one instance that resembles that occurrence dated back on April the 3rd in 33 A.D. Now, this was the correct date by historians through research of the crucifixion of our earthly cosmic brother and Savior, Jesus. And at that time, the research that was discovered was that there was also an earthquake and a large volcanic eruption that occurred at the time of his crucifixion. And it was also responsible for the 3 hours of darkness in Jerusalem. Now, through the years, there's been other relationships to the blood moon associated, with different types of occurrences. And some call it an omen, some call it negative, others call it positive, of an enlightenment. Depends on your view of things, of how they are. But between the 14th and 15th of April You have the Grand Cross, which is the beginning of the alignment of all these planets. And they will be aligning, ascending into the center of the galaxy as they did in the year 33 AD, which could be very powerful. The solar eclipse now that we're going to be having is on the 29th. But between the 14th and the 15th of the blood moon and the solar eclipse, we're having now the solar eclipse on the 29th. And this is going to form the complete grand cardinal cross in the heavens. Now, what that means is while they're moving and forming, it's going to cause some tension on our Earth, a pull on our Earth, tectonic plate, so we can expect ground movements, and we have been getting earthquakes. And I believe today, through the Internet, there was a 7.2, 7.5, I believe, earthquake in Mexico City.
Near Acapulco, I believe.
Acapulco, yeah. Very little was said on this, but we've had others before this. So you can feel the tension already occurring worldwide by, volcanoes that are already becoming active and earthquakes. There are greater right now, and there's a potential of a greater intensity earthquake that can happen in any part of the world, including here, California, which my guides have mentioned, that can be coming from the north of us, underneath Alaska, or could be coming from our South Mexican territories, which they mention constantly, and we will feel the tension here. And how it will affect our fault lines, no one knows, but they've always asked us to prepare and be ready for this. Now, according to, we're going back to the symbol of these planets coming together and forming a grand cross, is very significant. It's called the second coming. The second coming is significant. It can be symbolic depending on how you want to look at it. It can be symbolic to the crucifixion, the resurrection, or the ascension. It's a consciousness state. It's in a state where all the planets, will form the cross, and this will be stimulating everyone's DNA. Once they form the cross, we're all going through different symptoms in our bodies. And this is the activation of our DNA. This is the inner core records of a DNA memory. So this will be a collective, personal and collective consciousness of enlightenment. And this will also represent spirit and matter coming together as a quantum source field. Now, the Grand Cardinal Cross has much more meanings to that. It's an astrological event where these four planets, Pluto, Jupiter, Mars, and Uranus, will all be at 90-degree angles to one another, and they will form the Grand Cross in our celestial skies. And what is very important is that each of these planets sits at 13 degrees. 13. That's my favorite number. 13 degrees of the four cardinal signs. Pluto will be in the 13 degrees of Capricorn. Jupiter, 13 degrees of Cancer. Mars, 13 degrees of Libra. And Uranus, 13 degrees in Aries. This is very significant, the number 13. It is not a negative vibration. It is the highest vibrational frequency of unconditional love. And these planets coming together will form the perfect balance cross. Okay? Now, this is transformational energy that reaches climax. And they will reach the climax at April the 23rd to the 24th. And this will all be taking place between the two eclipses. We've already had the total lunar eclipse, which was the 14th and 15th of this month. Now, the next one is the solar eclipse, on the 28th of this month. That's when they align, they form the perfect cross. And that's very significant, and many things can happen from now till then and weeks after all this takes place.
Yeah, Alma, really quick, significantly speaking, as we're watching all these earth changes take place, do you feel personally that it will be some sort of physical event that will take place, or multiple physical events?
Multiple on different levels. Because not only do you have the numerology of 13, and depending on whether it's a Kabbalah, whether it's through astrology, the 13th vibration is the high vibration, unconditional love. Okay, we're moving from one phase in our spiritual evolution to the next one. The next one is unconditional love, would be between the balance of the Father, Mother, God, the balance of men and women on earth as equals, and balance with all life. That is the difference going into that. So the four archetypes of the universal grand cross means a square in the middle. The square in the middle means co-creation with God. The error is that humans saying we are creators. We are co-creators. There's an error because through eons of time, the errors have been that many extraterrestrials came to Earth and they made themselves creators or gods because humanity made them into gods. But in reality, they were not gods, but we saw them as gods. They're also evolving. The good, the bad, and the ugly, just like we are here on Earth.
Yeah, and you see that every day.
Yeah, we see that every day. So it's basically the ego has taken over. Materialism has taken over this planet. Immorality has taken over. And it's a time for balance, going back to the unconditional source and light that we are. And this is the forming of the Grand Cross. This is the balance that is needed to move us forward. But that doesn't mean things are not going to happen on the planet. It means that there has to be a purification cycle. And in a purification cycle, as a planet, as a human race, we move forward. And that's creating balance.
Alma, can I ask you something? Is this exactly what the Indian the American, the Native American Indians are exactly talking about, the purification?
Yes. That's the purification. They expect this. And they know that for some people they will see it as a bad omen, and others will see it as the higher consciousness of our next stage in our evolution. Now, the cross is also our spiritual practicality, which is the saying, on earth as in heaven, okay? The cross symbolizes the two bars, which is one that's horizontal, okay, the one that's vertical, and one represents the spirit, the other represents matter, okay? So the total perfect balance of spirit and matter coming together. And that exists in the heavens, and it's going to exist here on earth. There needs to be a balance. Now, like you said, the ancient religions and our ancient ancestors, long before even Jesus came to earth, they understood the meaning of spirit and matter. Because we as human beings, we are having a physical human experience here on earth, but our spiritual souls are inside of us. We are just the vehicles. Okay, those vehicles will leave, and our spiritual souls will go further and experience other lives. So these spirit and matter that we're experiencing now is going to lead us into the true spiritual beings that we are when we become truly balanced. Now, with creation, with co-creation, we are all co-creators. That means that the new world that we want to create, we are all going to be taking part in this. We are going to be co-creating the world that we want, the future that we want for ourselves and our loved ones, our children. Now, the Grand Cross, once it forms, it has everything to do with commitment to the whole. That means commitment to the whole human race, not just to ourselves. It's commitment to the whole human race and healing of ourselves and healing of the planet. This is very important. And once that's accomplished, once that healing is accomplished, we'll be able to move forward. And we'll be moving forward within our spirituality, which would be, who am I? And you would say, I am. And who am I? I am the God source of life that is within me. I am the co-creator. That's your spirituality. Now, you're going now into the mentally, area where you say you can focus on light, you can focus on God, you can focus on love, and you can always say, I can do this with God's assistance because I am His light. I am part of Him or she, Father, Mother, God. So I can. You don't have no doubts in the possibility that you can accomplish. You can accomplish anything with faith, and say, I can. So then the other one would be emotionally. You go into the subconscious. Subconsciously you say, I will. That's determination and energy. You put the energy in motion. You want something bad enough, you have to put it into motion. Don't just say, I want this. You have to say the word, put it into the energy, put it into motion, and say, I will do this. You can't say, perhaps I will do this. You have to be assertive and say, I will, and put your energies into motion, okay? When you put your energy into motion, it's the unconditional love like that of a mother. You have to show unconditional love, and that's part of becoming a co-creator. The opposite of your co-creator lacks love and kindness. It is the shadow, and it becomes the ego of yourself that will not evolve. It will only get darker. Then you go into the physical. The physical will be your unconscious ascension. Unconscious will mean that you can leave this planet at any time. But if you are ready to leave this planet at any time, you have no fear. Because you have love of yourself. You have a love of the Creator. You have already the consciousness to ascend. If you're unconscious, you will ascend, but you will be a lost soul. You need to physically see your physical bodies as only the vehicles, because your true self is the spirit that's inside of you, and your spirit will be prepared to leave. When your conscious part of you, that is whoever you are, is ready to leave and is prepared to leave without fear. So physically we should have no fear of losing our physical bodies because our spirits will be prepared and go where they need to go. But we need to put our faith in whatever source we have that is our faith and do good unto others and have unconditional love in our heart. That's our salvation. Unconditional love is the next phase in our evolution. So you have the spiritual, mental, emotional, physical.
Alma, before you go any further, I want to ask you something here. When it comes to unconditional love or service to self compared to, service to others, are people truly aware when they're giving service to others and service to self, or is it just a physical manifestation that they have to experience at their level of existence at this time? That
is a great question for you to ask the guides. I I in my own way can tell you that as a human being, we're not perfect. But when we do, and we are of service unto another with unconditional love, we do it not for recognition. We do it out of love. That's the difference. When the ego does things and makes other people see that they're, let's say, giving a donation to a beautiful cause, if they do it out of their ego and they want others to see what they are doing and make themselves more, more powerful, more recognizable, more respectable, that counts nothing. Those points do not count. So it means devolving.
Right.
So the ego is devolving. It is not evolving because you're not fooling others. You're fooling yourself, and you're fooling creation.
Right. Like, for instance, and he just brought up a very good point. Like, let's say that there's a very rich individual, right?
Yes.
Who he realizes that he'd rather not give his taxes, so to speak, to the government, but would rather do something more constructive with that. So let's say that this very rich person endows a group of individuals, very impoverished individuals around the world, with a certain amount of money, because he knows that it will help them out as well as helping himself out. Where would you place an individual like that?
Well, that individual that has his cup runneth over should use what is runneth over and give to these causes, because he can report them. Mm-hmm. He can report these. And at the same time, he's doing good unto others, but he's still keeping the law. So he is still within the law. Right.
So would you say that individual is looking at it from a balanced perspective, that he's doing something very good, and because he understands that the system is very corrupt, yet he's become very wealthy through the system. I mean, there's a lot involved in a question like that. But in retrospect, overall, I would look at it. This is from my personal viewpoint, that by him doing something like that would be giving to others, giving them a chance, and helping some impoverished individuals to achieve something greater in this lifetime than they could have achieved without this individual.
Okay, another way that I would put it. Let's say this wealthy person can take a lot of money, but they use that money to take other members of his team to very expensive and lavish dinner parties. Okay. And report it as such. Okay, that they spent all this money. They're within the law, but what they're doing is creating more ego and devolving, because they're not putting that money into good use.
Got it.
That money into a state of devolving. They are not doing nothing for their spirit.
Right. They're only enriching the rich. I got it.
Yes. And if all the rich people on this planet could share what their cup runneth over with the needy of the world, or with the friends who need, or the loved ones who are in need, and help them, give them a helping hand. We never take the cross away from any soul, because each soul comes with their own cross to bear, the lessons they need to learn in life. But we can lessen the cross that they carry by being of service and being of assistance in whatever way we can be to that individual. And that assists your soul to evolve greater to higher dimensional realms of light.
Here's one more question, and then I'll let you move forward, because I know you got a lot to say. But here's another question. What about, and this is, I guess, more of a karmic question, that, if there was an individual who was very, very wealthy, who was, very tight with his money, let's say, and then reincarnated here and then lived a life of poverty. Is that part of the karmic process that he has to go through because he did not share his wealth
Yes.
at the time he had it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And it can be many lifetimes of that poverty, depending on the severity of that cost.
And his action of his ego and his real behavior towards the individuals, I would assume.
Exactly.
Okay.
Each case would be different, but it would be returning. It's like putting somebody else's shoe on yours, because you'll never be able to learn and experience truly what another one feels unless you are put in that position yourself.
And I agree with that. And I just wanted to ask you your thought process. But yeah, I think that's absolutely correct. I think you have to experience that karma. And again, that karma is both sides of the coin. Without experiencing both sides of the coin, you will never be fully whole. You will never truly understand the greater picture, without a question.
No. Spiritual evolution is purification of the soul. Means that we may start up with dirty water as an example, and we put it through a filter. The second filter that we put it through, you'll have cleaner water, but it will still be very dirty. So you put it through another filter, another reincarnation. Then you put it through another filter, another. Some souls will have hundreds of purification processes of learning until that water is so pure that it can ascend and become one with a greater light source. That's how they explained it to me very simply.
Well, it makes sense to me. Absolutely. And yes, you would have to go through a lot of purification processes. If you're a new soul coming into this, if you're innocent in all aspects, you're going to be dealing with a lot of other souls, a lot of other physical beings that inhabit the souls that inhabit these bodies, and each one is going to be on a different level. And I guess that's part of the free will, that you can choose to do and experience anything you want. But whatever experience you choose, there will always be a karmic price to pay at one level or another.
There's a saying, do you think you can get away with something that's not so beneficial in this lifetime? It's wrong, because you can never get away with it. The universe has a way of balancing things out, so you will never get away with what you think you can get away with.
Exactly.
It's called retribution. It could be divine retribution. Depends on how you see it.
And we have spoken with retribution. At least that is the name that the entity chooses to use.
Exactly. One of our angelic guides, her angelic energy is Nemesis, the angel of retribution. Yes. Now, I want to go with something else that's really important now to tell your listeners. With this alignment of the planets in the 13 degrees, remember, unconditional love, forming the cross. It is also the state of beginning where your DNA will be rapidly morphing in a certain resonance with the shift in energies of the galactic alignment. So that's why you're feeling certain ways, I'm feeling certain ways. Many people are going to have different types of symptoms because our DNA is rapidly morphing and changing with the different energies and frequencies and the resonance of the quantum shift. And this grand cardinal cross alignment is going to trigger a mass alignment, what they call it the cosmic source code, at the subconscious and unconscious levels. So everybody's going to feel it one way or the other, okay? Now, I want to go very, very quickly through something that may be very important to everybody. Under Our spirituality, Pluto being in the 13 degrees, it represents a powerful transformation for all of us in our own families, with our own personal lives, within the government, within healthcare, economy, in every aspect that is important within our spirituality. This is going to happen, a powerful transformation. So you already see it now going throughout the world, all the changes that happen in the Middle East and Russia, everywhere. Now, mentally, Uranus in the 13 degrees, Aries, represents a mass awakening to the opportunity of liberating yourself from things that have held you down, whatever it may be. You liberate yourself. So this is a time of liberation. You can change your mental thought forms into what you want them to be. So this is very important. Now, emotionally, in 13 degrees Cancer means expansive. Expansive is your emotional intelligence. That means we're not only intelligent, we have to use the heart. By using our heart, using our mind, that creates a balance in our intelligence. Not just mental intelligence, emotional intelligence, using our heart. Because this is the cycle of unconditional love of the 13 degrees. So everything you do, do it with love, unconditional love. Now, physically, Mars is at 13 degrees. This represents an intensive assertiveness. To be assertive means the scales of justice. Okay. The scales of justice means demanding justice. You demand justice, which would be an expression of your mental or your emotional. It could be personal relationships. It could be the economy. It could be organized corporations. It could be disease. It could be anything. You have to bring and demand justice and bring it into balance. This is all important. Now, personal conscious evolution will go hand in hand with global revolution. Isn't that what we're having now, global revolution? Because our consciousness right now is evolving, and the world is going through a global revolution to this higher consciousness, which is called a quantum leap. And everybody's experiencing it. They see it on the news now, not only in human affairs and the mass consciousness, but you're going to be feeling the tension on Earth, the Earth movements, volcanic, Earth energies affecting our volcanoes, water sign is going to be affecting our waters or underground volcanoes. All of this is happening almost at once this year, moment to moment. It's going to end in 2015 because we're going to have 4 blood moons. This was one. We're going to have another one, and a third and a fourth. And everyone can do their research on the 4 blood moons and go through the history of when it happened, the omens behind it, and how it affects certain races, nationalities, certain faiths. So everybody should do their own research on that personally.
Alma, let me ask you this. I mean, there's a lot of religious connotations behind a lot of this. How many, in your opinion, and I'm just asking your opinion on this, I mean, how many people are going to take this as a sign of transformation? How many people are going to take this as the end of days?
Millions. Millions of people worldwide. Millions. This is very significant. This occurrence of what's happening now in April this year occurred in a similar way. That's the closest in the time to the crucifixion of Jesus. And with the number 13 associated with the Grand Cross, Jesus is the 13th vibration of unconditional love. This is his symbol to the world. This is his sign to the world. I will explain the 13. These are the 13 energy centers of your soul experience. 13 energy centers. These are the 13 archangels of creation. These are the 13 activated points of your light body. These are the 13 spheres of the Metatron's cube. These are the 13 sacred keys of creation. This is the awakening of our DNA to the 13 sacred keys. This is the awakening of our double Merkaba. We have a Merkaba bodies of light.
Yes.
But this is double. This is a double Merkaba of our bodies of light. And the earth is at 0-point field of 13 hertz. Everything is 13. And I will end with one note here. You know, the dollar bill?
Oh, yes.
That's a 13. Okay, the dollar bill in the pyramid is 13. 13 levels. Okay, there's feathers, 13. There's words, there are 13. If you look at the dollar bill, you can study it, you can research it, you'll find the number 13. If it was a negative number, it would not be used on the dollar bill. That's the foundation of our currency that was made in perfect balance and harmony. What happened was the opposing forces can change all that. Just like the opposing forces changed the frequency of the 13 into a negative number, a negative force, a negative power.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Just like the swastika used by Hitler was transformed from a very positive symbol to a very negative symbol. The same exact.
They just tweaked it. Mm-hmm. They just tweaked it.
Yep.
Anything that is of the light and is benevolent can be used by opposing forces. So people have to be aware. We, as a nation, basically have a balanced beginning, a balanced foundation, and hopefully we'll return to that balance because it originates with the 13 and the first 13 colonies. So it's not negative, it's positive.
Right.
But if you put a negative connotation, a negative energy to it, and the mass consciousness puts its negative energy, you transform it into a negative energy. Like buildings not having the 13th floor and other symbols, they omit the 13th. But in reality, it is positive, and you have to change your way of thinking.
So as a whole, as a society, we have to restructure our thought process to understand that what has been a very positive thing has been used as a negative symbolism for these people's benefit in order to maintain control over the system, which they don't want to lose. But in my opinion, in the eventuality of it all, no matter how hard they tried, in other words, the harder they squeeze, the more slips through their fingers, and they will lose.
Yes. It could be on a conscious or unconscious level. They're doing what they feel is right. So the universe makes no judgment on any nation, on any leader, because they feel that they're doing what is right. And you have the other forces of light that are also doing what they feel is right. So you will always have these two forces in every form of institution and every government of the world. You will always have these two forces working with one another and against each other. And you have those forces in our own families. You have those forces in your own personal lives. You have the yin and yang. You have those two forces in your own personal lives.
Right, exactly, Alma. And without those forces, this is something I've talked about a lot. You and I have had this discussion before. Without those forces being there, you couldn't understand what the other side was like, and you couldn't, grow to a larger whole of yourself for the enlightenment of the transformation and the transformation moving forward into your existence here and the next existence you will achieve. Without that, you couldn't know, which makes absolute sense to me.
Yeah. And remember our indigenous cultures within South America and Mexico, the Mayas, the Toltecs, they were given some sacred knowledge from our cosmic visitors.
Yes.
whether they were of benevolent or malevolent intentions, but they were given sacred knowledge. And within that, they had the 13, what they call Baktums, or the 13 monthly cycles of the year, which is supposed to have brought harmony, perfect harmony, okay, to which is our weather. And it was changed. I don't know when in history it was changed into a 12-month calendar, which brought an unbalance.
Yeah, I think it was done by the Pope. I can't remember his name right now, but he is the one who changed it from the 13th month to the 12th month calendar. But yes, absolutely, and I think that was around the 14th, 15th century, right around there. I can't be absolutely sure, but yes, you're right.
Yeah, the 13th is perfect harmony, unconditional love and balance. That's what this Grand Cross means. Unconditional love, harmony, balance. So the indigenous people knew this. They were given this knowledge, and they had their calendar system that is so accurate to the point that even scientists don't understand how this could have been done so by them. Now, with this 13-month period, each month has an exact number of days, and they total the 13th month. So within the 12 months, each month, like you said, has 30 or 31 days. In the future, when everything comes together with one full picture where everybody can see the ultimate truth in one picture, not have so many pictures, and every picture has a different meaning to every person on the planet, depending on their background and their religious beliefs, respecting all of them. But when all of these truths come together and form one big picture, that's when they all will come together and create this balance. Or until our benevolent cosmic brotherhoods are invited, and they bring order and balance to the planet with the second coming, because the second coming is very significant to our benevolent cosmic brotherhoods. This is the point that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, and it's not, and just for clarification, it is not the resurrection of Christ. It is symbolic resurrection. Again, and you have a lot of religions out there who are looking for the actual physical resurrection or the rebirth, reincarnation, whatever, of Emmanuel, Jesus Christ, and it's just not going to be.
Many religions, according to what the biblical, books say to them, they go by what he said unto his disciples. So it depends on what your interpretation is. When the Jesus that walked on the earth said to his disciples, see, as you see the Son of Man ascend in the clouds of heaven, you shall see the Son of Man descend in the clouds of heaven. Now, those two statements are very important, and millions of people take it as a true physical
they take it
coming.
They take it literally.
Yes.
Exactly.
And the universe has said to me, he says, the truth shall be brought out into the light, but there will be a second coming. But they don't tell me yes or no. He says that the truth will come into the light in the second coming. And they always refer to the remarks that he made. As you see the Son of Man. He didn't say as you see the Son of so and so. He said the Son of Man. That means he was born here, human, with a divine spirit.
Right.
An evolved spirit. And however people want to see it, through a divine birth. When he says ascend, and he says descend, he never said, I will come in somebody else's name. He never said, I will come using somebody else's name. He did say beware.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Whole Agenda Radio Show. I am your host, Robert Peppino, broadcasting to you live right here on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. And, of course, it's an absolute pleasure to be with you. It is the second hour of the broadcast. And, of course, you know, as I always say, always at the beginning of the show, top of the hour of the show, second hour, excuse me, that, you know, you make this show possible. And I want to thank each and every one of you, as always, for being contributors to this network, to keeping this show on the air and all the rest of the shows on this network alive. We are 100% listener-sponsored, right? Well, you make that sponsorship happen, and we need your help. There are the bills every single month. Granted, things are declining at a rapid rate here in the United States. The unemployment is at all-time highs, and yet we continue to get your support, and this is very encouraging because that means that you guys out there truly care about the information that we bring to the table right here on this network. And we need you to continue to do that, to support this network, to make it grow, you know, tenfold, 100-fold. We need your support to reach other listeners. So if you can, please go to the support page at freedomslips.com and contribute. You know, whatever you can is a help at any point, at any time, because for every dollar you contribute, it helps pay for, of course, the networking and the advertisement that we try and get out there to gain more listenership, and this is what it's all about. So thank each and every one of you. I thank each and every one of you for what you do. And don't forget about the great deals that Hawk has out there, 35,000 non-GMO seeds with a storable shelf life of 25 years for $100, great deal. The USB bullet drive with the 900 survival documents as well for $50, great deal. And of course, Hawk just finished putting together the best of 2013 shows, your favorite hosts. Hopefully it's me. I'd like to think so. Commercial free. And you know what? You can purchase that for $30. What a great deal. You can play that. Hey, what a great Christmas gift or just a birthday gift or any kind of gift that you'd love to give to somebody to help to wake them up. You know, get them moving in the right direction anyway. For $30, you can't beat that. It's a great deal all around. So anyway, thank you, and we appreciate your support. Now, for everyone just joining in right now who missed the first half, my guest this evening has been Alma Roehling. Now, for you new listeners who just joining in right now, she is our telepathic transcommunicator of Stargate 2012 and beyond, and she's on the third Friday of every month, and basically through her trans-channeling capabilities, she enlightens us. Well, they enlighten us through her. Meaning our brothers and sisters up there, our ET brothers and sisters who are extremely advanced, mentally extremely advanced. And, of course, there's the angelic beings as well, which are even more advanced than they are, who channel through Alma and bring us words of wisdom, words of comfort, and the understanding that as things progress here on this planet, things, you know, and they're getting worse, folks. You know, I hope I'm not preaching to the choir, but for the most part I probably am, that there is light at the end of the tunnel. This is the important part. So, if you understand that, and the words of wisdom they give us, we can prepare ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually for what we will go through, what we are going through, and you know, and the outcome of this all. We can become much stronger, spiritual, conscious beings who will have an effect of an evolutionary change on a scale which has never been seen before on this planet. And that, I guess, at least for me, is the goal that I would like to see and achieve at this point. But anyway, Alma was preparing and has been preparing, to go into channel. It does take her about 10, 15 minutes. And I hope she's had enough time to prepare. And this ought to be wonderful because we never know who we're going to get through. I hear William coughing in the background. William, is she ready?
Not quite yet.
Okay, so she needs a few more minutes. William, did you want to? You haven't said a word all night. Did you want to jump in and contribute a little bit?
You guys are doing a great job, but the world energies are really going crazy right now. And,
yes, they are, my friend. Yes, they are.
And, the universe was going over a little bit of the instabilities in the atmosphere with the energies that have been brought up, like from the people that were playing with the CERN project and the Stargates. The Stargate things they've been playing with out there, they've been warned to be careful, and they've created some instabilities in our atmosphere and around, all around the world. And from what I understand, there are some vortexes that come and go, just similar to, like I spoke to you last month about the Bermuda Triangle, the Devil's Triangle. There are vortexes that come open and close, and those have been caused by men playing with things they don't know what they're doing. And now there is some problems out there, and they are going to the universe is going to do their best to try to help us out with some of those instabilities because of what a man has done with things they don't know how to deal with.
And I agree. And I agree with you. And a lot of these subjects we talked about are so dark and disheartening sometimes, what man does. Not what our angelic friends tell us that the outcome will be, but what we do as a whole. I was watching an RT interview today, and not an interview, but just basically a journalistic viewpoint on fracking and what it's done, what it's caused, how much harm it has caused among people. And yet you have, again, the social elite, the money mongers who are all part of the same team, paying off the Green Party to say, hey, this fracking thing's okay, and it's really going to create a wonderful energy source for the United States and the rest of the world. While in the meantime, they're poisoning our waters, our rivers, our wells, and causing massive chemical reactions in the human body, which the human body was never meant to absorb. And this is going on all over the country, and of course it is being stayed off by the mainstream press, because who's the mainstream press bought and paid for by? The multinational conglomerates who control it all. And it's so disheartening. It breaks my heart constantly, over and over and over. And innocent people are suffering while these degenerates, and that's what they are multiplying their cash load funds hundreds of times over, as the economy continues to collapse.
Yeah, exactly. And there's just so much to worry about. Well, so much to be concerned about, and hopefully we can get through these things. And what I was talking about, those portals or holes, they could appear anywhere, on ground, underground, above ground. They could be anywhere. And it gives me worry about air travel and everything else. But I think we're ready now. Here, hold on, please.
Okay, gang, here we go. Hello? Are you there? Oh, no. All right, gang, looks like we dropped off just for a second. I'm going to try and call Alma right back. These things happen. It's actually happened before. Boy, oh boy. Here we go. Hold on. Let me just call her right back. Okay. 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 We're calling back right now. This has happened before, and just so you know, there are malevolent who do this. Okay?
So,
Okay, Bill, we're back.
here we are.
Okay. Oh, no, here we go. And they're doing it again. And I think we're actually being messed with right now. Okay, let's try this one more time. But what basically happens is that at the source from their end.
Okay, I hung up twice on this.
I didn't hang up on you. It wasn't me. I think we're being messed with.
We're okay now.
All right, so we're good. Let me do something really quick before we go. Okay. Deep breath in and out. Okay. I'm ready on my end.
Hello?
Hello? Bill?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, Estapi. Hello. Hello, Estapi. Hello. Speak English, please.
Aló, señor, Robert?
Yes, speak English, Estapi, please.
Sí, I will speak for you.
Now, can I tell you something before you speak?
Yes.
I was thinking of you today. And here you are. Did you read my thoughts? Did you know I was thinking of you?
Yes, and you are what we would say a child that is lost.
I'm a child that is lost. I'll accept that.
Because you have many paths, and you're so confused which one to take. You have so many guest speakers and so many different views and intelligence, knowledge, sciences. Everyone has different views of what is occur on this planet, and they have their own prophecy as well. And they offer you many windows of different visions and destinies, and it can be confusing for most listeners.
Well, Stapi, let me ask you a question. When you were here in the physical life, did you experience the same thing? Did you not go through the same thing?
I was so confused by many of your indigenous cultures. They had various traditions, and some were not very benevolent. And I went to many to bring harmony and to bring balance. You had some indigenous cultures that ate humans. You know that? They ate humans. And this was something that we could not understand. And even now, with your populations and many of your cultures, you have many customs and rituals and eating practices. Some humans treat animals as pets, others eat them. You have a strange civilization of many races, cultures, beliefs, rituals, traditions, but you are all beautiful in your own way. And we need to bring balance to the world. And if this is not done so, this planet cannot evolve with humanity. It must evolve simultaneously with the human race together.
Stapi, may I ask you a question, please?
Yes.
Are we close at this point with our evolution, with the humanity that exists now, that we will find balance in a short time?
We don't say this. We expect it. We expect it with the times you call the age of Aquarius, the age of make love and not war. In this time, was this in your years of the 60s in your planet? This was an energy influx of vibrational frequencies that entered to bring humanity into a higher consciousness, away from violence and to end these wars. But most of the human race took upon themselves this harmony to be make love, not war. And in reality, that's what you were doing, making love, and that was not our intention. That went astray. It went against what the original plan was, because humanity turned to immoral practices, immoral behaviors, and the use of many of substances that deteriorated the minds of the young people. This was not the intention. It was taken the wrong way. Now it's another time. This is the time of Aquarius. This is the time of true enlightenment, the time of your next cycle of your evolution. And it starts now with this alignment of your planet. It starts now with the significance of the 13th. This is the reason I was called to come forth and speak to you. This moment you are living in at the present with this celestial signs is of the greatest significance, and of your, what you have called in past times, you say blood moons. They are not really blood, but they are stained of the color frequency of the light spectrum that turns them red. It is because there are other large planetary sources that can be called crafts, large crafts, as big as some of your planet. And when they get close, what they would say, expel some frequency of light that changes the light spectrum of your moon and turns it into this hue color of reddish round. They turn the blood moon. But in reality, these are large planet-sized crafts or motherships. And why are they there? They're there for a reason, a purpose. They are on guard. For these blood moons will come one by one and end in 2015. But your grand alignment of the cross, this is the perfected, proportioned cross. It is not the cross that your Jesus was crucified on. This is the perfect cross that has equal size, equal degrees. For each sector represents a sector within this sector of the universe, and it represents the human nature of what you are. You are of water. You are of fire. You are of earth and wind. You are all the elements. You are all parts of this sector of the universe and connected to this sector of the universe with many what you have called alien races, elder brothers and sisters from various planetary sources. And not all are benevolent. They are also opposing forces. That is the reason why we have these grand ships that turned your Luna is moon, into red. But it is not blue, the blood you call blood when you cut yourself. But it is resemblance of this, for it has in your past caused certain events to occur on the planet relating to various races and cultures symbolic truth of their faith. And it is part of the retribution cycles. For the world and the human race will go through certain retribution cycles of purification and of higher learning and enlightenment to greater truth on earth as in the heaven.
Estapi, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
Have the boxes been removed from all coastal plains at this point? In other words,
No. They remained. They are stabilizers.
Okay.
We have anchors as well, deep anchors that are placed so deep. So if there are severe earth movements, these anchors will take some of the stress to prevent devastating earth movements.
So they remain, yes.
But we cannot say they will stop altogether. They will only lessen the movement of this crust of the earth, or to prevent a shift within your, what you have called north and south poles. But you know you have already been going through the shift with your north and south poles.
Yeah.
It is gradually already begun, and you see this in your weather patterns. Do you not experience it?
We experience it every day, getting worse and worse and worse. May I ask you another question?
Yeah.
What of the Arcturians? I've heard a lot of information regarding their technology and their guidance and help.
There are many, not just the Arcturians. They are them from the Syrian race, from Cyrus. There are the Atlanteans, the Pleiadians. There are also those that come from outside of this sector of the universe. They're light beings without form, but they are life beings that also come to represent their sector and to be of assistance. They may be angelic forms as well, but they are living beings. Now, each one has their own technology and advances within their own culture, within their own earth, in their own place within the sector of the universe. Some are more advanced than others, but truly some are thousands of years advanced, others a few thousands of years, others may be as what you right now are in kindergarten, they are in college. So there are also worlds where there are inhabitants that are lower than this earth plane, and they too are being visited by guardians to assist them, to bring them up into the next cycle within their evolution as well. We are all evolving. This planet and we as a planet and as different races on this sector in this universe. So, yes, of the Arcturians, yes, of various benevolent races working on behalf of the human race, of being of assistance in what they are able and capable of doing without breaking these universal laws, because they cannot intercede unless they are called upon when necessary to intercede.
Estopi, has the Galactic Council, and I'm asking you this, and I don't know because you may not have the direct information as well, but has the Galactic Council finally made a decision to allow the final purification and transformation to take place here on Earth?
The final purification is not yet to be. These are only the trials and tribulations. And humanity is being assisted to pass through these trials and tribulations. If you pass them successfully, you will evolve together with your planet. If you don't pass these tribulations and trials and the opposing forces on Earth, as in the heavens working together, have greater control of the Earth and humanity. But we say we will not allow the planet to self-destruct or for these nuclear weapons to bring about the deterioration of the human species within your DNA structure. For you are all beautiful humans. You are the accumulation of all your past lives on this earth, and you come from various galaxies and origins inhabited here in these different vehicles of human forms. So you are a collective of many benevolent alien races, as well as some opposing malevolent races. A duality exists in the human race. But in the end, we are hoping that more of your DNA frequencies and strands that will be added of the benevolent side of your species will win out at the end, and you will all evolve into a light planet where peace will be and no wars shall exist and no more suffering, and a new cycle will begin. To understand, for there are various interpretations by various religions. They say 1,000 years of peace, but before this occurs, the earth and the human race must go through all their trials and tribulations, and the light must triumph for the 1,000 years of peace and advancement, and you will be galactic citizens and taking part in being of service to other worlds in the sector of the universe and beyond. Now, can we continue?
Yes, absolutely.
What we wish to say, the reason, yes.
If I may ask another question, this has been on my mind for quite a long time, and I've never had the ability or never had the option to ask because you all of you have so much information to give, and there's such little time within an hour. My question is this: the information that Billy Meyer has been given through the Palladians, all the predictions through Sfat and the rest, through all the through his generation. In other words, when his contact started back in 1958 to present day, through the Palladians. how much of that information is absolutely true? How much of that information is speculative? Because I understand that time is relevant in regards to that time exists simultaneously, and when a prediction is made, it doesn't mean it's necessarily true, but it can be true. There's prediction and and of course there's prophecy. Now, this man...
I will say and answer your question before you finish. Now, predictions are not necessarily a totality of truth. They are an approximation. Prophecies are warnings that have been given and stated and placed in all the Holy Scriptures. They are warnings and not necessarily events that need to occur, but events that may occur if certain changes in the human race are not accomplished. And certain events can be avoided. Others will be made lesser by the benevolent assistance you receive from your celestial brothers and sisters, or your star brothers and sisters. So you see, within predictions and prophecies, there is no exact truth, for there is no exact time, for all things can change from one moment to the next within your earth time and with your own spatial time within the matrix of all time and no time. Now, we say this. As to Billy Meyer, a great man and seer and chosen as a vehicle for this race of brothers and sisters from the cosmic stars of the Pleiades, the Pleiades. And we say there are on earth various ones who are vehicles as well, who bring forth many truths. But we say all of them within this planet who are chosen vehicles and who receive it from their own origin, own counsels, their own guides or angelic guides. And we say there are truths and there are greater truths. And greater truth, there are still greater truths above those truths. So we say it is not the absolute truth, for there are also greater truths. As you have on earth your, what you will call electricity that flows through your light bulbs to measure the power of frequency. Now, we call them voltages. You have some that vibrate at 100% light, others 2 or 3, 4, 5, 1,000 watts, and others more so. As your computers and your extra systems that you have now invented in these small chips, they contain so much information that millions of minds together would cover one of those chips. So we say there are bigger chips that would cover millions of more minds of information within those chips. So this is a complex question, for the truth cannot be measured, for the truth is within all souls who are evolving at different frequencies. So for some who believe that he is the ultimate truth in his transmission and context, those are vibrating at that frequency of truth. For others who are receiving information from their own angelic and cosmic guardians, and there are millions who vibrate at that frequency of light and truth. They too are receiving what they need. So it is true within all religions. They all have part of the truth. But no religion has the absolute truth. For there are higher truths. They are higher dimensions. And they are higher frequencies. And there are many in multiple dimensions. Not just one, not just two or three. There are multiple dimensions of hells which you have created on earth as in other dimensions. There are multiple dimensions of heaven which you have created and which can be created on earth as in the heavens. And your spirit will resonate and evolve with the light that corresponds to your origin, to where you're going to go. Does this make any sense to you, my brother?
Let me tell you something. This makes absolutely perfect sense to me. Everything is a personal truth. You couldn't have clarified that more clearly than you just did. The reality of what you've just said is that, in essence, everything exists within our own realm of consciousness. We have the ability to create, destroy, love, hate, forgive, deny, because it is all within us, because we are part of the greater consciousness of the creation of Source. I hope I stated that clearly.
And our purpose at this time of this grand cross and the 13th frequency of the 13th degree and the blood moons, it's all very significant. It is your DNA being activated, changing, morphing, shifting, ascending. This is a great time to be here on this earth. And what follows are trials and tribulations, but you must see them as of light and as of lessons you will learn from, and purification, and make this planet what you envision it to be, and your futures. You have that power, the potential. This is the quantum leap from one cycle to another. So it can be viewed in many different ways. But the second coming is not yet to be until all becomes in this frequency of light, balanced into the feminine and masculine. That is difficult to accomplish, and that is what we are trying to do, to assist humanity to see yourselves as equals, and to bring a state of morality to the world, a balance. Once this is achieved to a certain degree, then you can call upon the universe, for many of our ships will be seen throughout the world, and you will know of their existence. You cannot hide this. It will be visible throughout the world, but without interfering with your free will, without breaking universal laws. And it will be done in a benevolent way. If any activity or event occurs from your heaven, from any celestial body that is not benevolent, that is of an opposing force or brings darkness and fear or destruction, you will understand that this is not us. These are not our crafts. These are not your benevolent brothers, guardians of this planet. So know that there is something wrong. Know that you must wait. And know that you will not board these crafts. For you do not know from whence they come, or if they are man-made from various technologies on this planet. Do you understand that?
Absolutely. Let me ask you, will you give us assistance if that were to occur when the malevolent ones come here to claim themselves as the saviors of the human race, which we already know they won't be, but for a lot of people on this planet, 90% probably or more, will be very fooled into this. When will you assist us in what manner? Will you tell us? Will you oppose the ones that are trying to act as our saviors, and will we be able to see that visually?
There are so many already on your planet. They live among you. They're in every form of organization. And all they are waiting for is this technology that they are working on to call upon their own races to unite. But we say these massive ships are on guard. They cannot penetrate these shields. So you can say they are placed in quarantine on Earth and within this, your lunar moon. They are placed in quarantine around your sun as well. But understand that there are also large objects or crafts on the sun protecting Mother Earth from the severe solar mass ejection. So you have benevolent crafts and you have the opposing forces. But the opposing forces have no power to penetrate our shields. That is your protection. So if you see those that come and those that speak of great love and great truth, but not of unconditional love, if they come with conditions, then no, this is not unconditional love. It will come from within you, from your souls, to know the truth, to feel the truth. We cannot interfere by you choosing and making the wrong choices. All we say for all mankind is to evolve spiritually, to look upon another as your brother and sister, to learn to forgive, and learn that unconditional love will be your salvation and the salvation of this planet. Visualize this planet as what you wish it to be, a free planet. A planet where there is no more wars. A planet where all will be shared and there will be free technology and resources for everyone. Where mankind will be brothers and sisters within your animal kingdom and eat them no longer. For there will be other food supplies to sustain you. Energy that will be natural without contaminating your body or this planet. You all have that potential to grow spiritually and to choose love, choose forgiveness, and acceptance of other races. They are your guardians and your protectors. Do you understand that?
I do understand. And one last quick question, because we're coming at the end of the broadcast, about 4 minutes. If you can summarize this, if you can.
Yes.
As we are human beings, we have to contend with something which I think is part of the biggest problem that we deal with, is the human ego. The human ego is part of the higher conscious mind. I understand that. But is it because that we exist on such a low-level state of consciousness that the ego is so involved in our guidance? And is it because the ego that is involved that guides our life in such bizarre ways here on this planet?
You have to understand it's your choice when you come here. And if your spirit is full of ego, it reincarnates in a physical body with that ego. And through these experiences, the ego becomes greater. So understand that that is your choice. You come into this planet with this ego, just like many come pure souls without the ego. They come solely of love and of being of service unto others, and there is no ego. And what is of all the dark energies on this planet that could create ego, they understand these energies and they walk away from that. They maintain balance. If you maintain balance, you set aside the ego and you let more light into your life, and you become truly a light being in a physical body. But those that come with egos will only create greater power and more ego unto themselves and devolve. They will not evolve into the light. They will devolve.
But isn't the ego part of the duality that exists within all of us?
Yes, but they chose. Even if you are in spirit, you have free will. You choose before you come. You choose to be of service unto others, or you choose to be of service to self, and you enter. And you enter of service to self. That's your ego. That's your choice. And we respect your choices. For you have them in physical form and in your spiritual essence, in your evolution. And this is throughout the universe for all sentient beings.
I understand. That makes perfect sense to me. Stapi, it's been a long time since you've come through and talked to us here, and I hope that you are prospering in your endeavors as you come through and speak to us, because that is selflessness. That is the greatest act of selflessness, as you try and help a humanity who is still evolving in a very deep, dark place. And I respect and thank you for your service.
Believe. Unconditional love will be mankind's salvation. Peace unto you and to all who listen.
Thank you, Stapi, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Everybody, we've got about a minute left. Stapi, are there any final words you'd like to say before we leave?
He's gone.
Okay, Stapi is gone. William, are there any final words you'd like to add? We got about a minute left.
Nope, I'm done.
Okay. Well, listen, I want to, as always, thank you and just give you my respect and love to both of you, what you contribute and what you do. Looks like we just dropped off again. I'm not going to call them back in, but the information that they always put forward is incredible. Again, like the entity Stapi, who was, by the way, an Indian shaman at one point. That's why you heard Stapi speaking a different language, because I had gone through the same thing until Stapi learned to actually speak English. And this does occur, gang, in